Alright, so this is my first attempt at going live. Just want to see if is it mirrored? Yeah, it's mirrored. It's not supposed to be mirrored. I don't know how to fix that. So what I've done is I've just come out of meditation. I'm not going to lie, it's the first time I've done it in quite a while. And what I really wanted to explore is how I've been feeling coming off of the full moon. Yeah, the full moon and then the solstice. It's been kind of rough, and I feel like I'm not the only one. Now you'll notice that my image is a little grainy. I'm using my webcam and not my camera. This is the first time I'm live streaming, so there's no comments right now, no live comments. I'm going to learn how to do that next time. Now, what I've been feeling is that I've been sort of cut off from what I wanted to work on lately. For me, it's working on my channel and cranking out some artwork. And it feels like a block, like essentially being cock-blocked from what I want to do. And it's frustrating, and it feels like it's happened before. And in my meditation, by the time I finally got to a point of being able to talk to myself or my higher self, what I'm finding is that it's essentially what's happening is there's a fear of success, and it has to do with shadow work. It has to do with, I need to look at the camera, not at myself. This is weird. It has to do with basically the moon, because the moon represents it represents fears, dreams, suppressed ideas, things that you don't want to get into. If you're in that sort of societal Prozac mindset, no offense to anybody who actually needs that, like, take your meds, okay? It's a societal, I don't want to say impetus, but it's become a societal norm, especially since the 1950s, of you have to present this idea that you're happy, that you're stable, that everything's good in your life. And if you're not happy, there's something extremely wrong with you. But if you're not happy, it means there is something wrong. Maybe not with you in particular, but your the structure of your life, things that you want to effect change, but you're not sure how to. And one thing that, even if you find out what you're doing, like what your life purpose is, what you want to do, what your shaky desk, what your next goal is, you're gonna you might encounter like resistance. And I'm feeling like what I'm getting is that the reason that we tend to stop ourselves from achieving our goals, whether it's intentional self-sabotage or we really want it and then for some reason we get injured or an emergency happens, or we become sick in some way, or our finances drop off, whatever reason and or excuse that happens where you just seem to completely run out of energy when you're really just trying to get going, it has to do with a fear of success. And it's not just like you could be like, hey, I want success, I'm tired of being miserable. But it's not like that. It's a fear of it being taken away once you have it. And the issue is that we've been in this place for so long where we don't have what we want, You know, especially if you've had to scrape yourself up from the bottom, whether you've gone through your dark night of the soul or not, or if you just, maybe you were poor, maybe you grew up comfortable, or maybe you grew up wealthy, but for some reason you're not finding what you have in life fulfilling, but you're afraid that if you get something satisfying, it's going to be taken away from you. And the issue here is that we still think we're living in this world where that could be true. You know, it's like little kid wants to play with the bigger kids. They finally get the toy after running around trying to get the toy for an hour. And once they finally get it, one of the big kids comes and kicks it right out of their hand. They've had it taken away from them, this goal that they've been trying to achieve. I want to be like the big kids. And I've finally gotten it, and now what do I do with it? Oh, somebody's taken it away. It has to... So that's on a 3D world. You could have everything taken away from you. You could have, like, you could have your body taken, you could have your health, you could have your mind, anything like that. Your house, your cat, your dog. You know, it's like a country song. They'll take your truck, your beer, your wife, your dog, your boat, and probably your gun too. So it's, you know, that's a very cheeky example, but what you're really doing is you're living in this world here in the 3D where things can be taken away from you. But if you're going to achieve a goal, you might think it's like, ooh, I want a better house, ooh, I want, you know, a better car, or this or that. And it's useful to have goals, but if you're gonna be in this realm where you're trying to achieve higher consciousness, the thing that's holding you back the most is that you think that if you achieve a higher level of consciousness for yourself, where you're in your power, we think that because based on what we've seen in the 3D that we can have it taken away from us. And this is what I've been struggling with this week personally. I feel stalled out. I haven't finished what I wanted for my channel. You know, I've got a backlog of stuff that I wanted to do. I haven't made my schedule yet for, you know, reading and the online courses and like exercising and meditating and working on the painting that's behind this blanket here, and, you know, readings. You know, I'm not where I thought I was going to be like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm feeling anxiety. I'm feeling like I'm not going to make it. And what I realized during the like 20 good minutes of the hour-long meditation, after I stopped flopping around and, you know, thinking about other stuff, is that I am afraid that it's going to be taken away from me. So why would you even bother? You know, why would you go and bother, you know, earning $800 so you can finally get the new bed that you need so your back doesn't hurt, and then your car breaks down and it costs $650 and now you have no money. So it's like, why would you even bother? I'm like, great, now I can still get to work, but the point of getting to work was so that I could get the bed so that my back doesn't hurt. And you're back to square one. So those things aren't those tangible things of getting and losing. It doesn't translate to the 5D and those other higher consciousness levels. So in your head, in your world that you're creating, the place where you co-create, you have everything. And it feels like we don't have it because we're living in this world where we've been given this lack mentality. We don't have it. Once we have it, it's gone. So if we can realize that in our higher levels, what we're sensing is fear of loss for something that we don't have yet, we can get into our head and be like, hey, wait a minute. once I have myself, you can't take yourself away from yourself. And that's the point that's being lost. And I realized, well, maybe the reason I'm experiencing this week again is because that's what I'm supposed to talk about. I felt burnt out. Like, what am I supposed to do my readings on? I fell off the thing. I had like a week where I couldn't eat. I either was busy with, you know, not emergency, but like urgent things where I had to be dealing with other people away from my cards and computer and everything. And, you know, the technology stopped working for a day or two, and it was frustrating. And then I got out of the habit, and then I was like, well, what am I even doing here? Like, what's the point? Like, why should I bother if I can't even freaking get to it? So this whole process of me in my life feeling like something's blocking me from succeeding again really is just so that I can express it to other people. The whole point of it. Because I was thinking, well, you know, I'm coming from a space in doing light work where I've been through the dark night of the soul. I was in this dark, abysmal, rock bottom, emotionally, mentally place, basically for the better part of 10 years. And for me, in terms of doing light work, it's not, I'm going to go around spreading light all the time and that's all that I do. Because what I realized is that, and other people will say this too, the light and dark exist as a duality, because if we only had light, there would be no movement. It's that phrase like, well, if every day is a sunny day, then what's a sunny day? And it's like in the movie The Shadow, it's like in the, well, it's in the movie, but it was like a comic, I guess, a long time ago. So in the movie, Alec Baldwin plays the Shadow, and then, oh, I don't remember his name. It's John something. Anyway, his nemesis is Shimon Khan, and he's like, you and I are the shadow. There is no light without shadow. And it's the same idea as the yin-yang symbol. You know, the light still has darkness within it, and the darkness still has light within it. So the place that I'm coming from right now is the darkness. I am, you know, it's like the Queen lyric, March of the Black Queen. It's like, I'm Lord of all darkness, I'm Queen of the night. And, you know, I don't want to be in like an ego place and be like, I'm the Queen of the night. You know, it's if you look at the Queen cards in tarot, the Queen has attained like a mastery of the suit that she's in terms of an intuitive, emotional way. She's not like she's not ruling it with an iron fist like the king is. So it's ruling that suit. This vehicle's going by. I guarantee you that guy was going over 30 miles an hour down the hill. Anyway, the queen is ruling the suit from this right-brained, creative, feminine energy position. So for me to sort of have dominion over the darkness is to be coming from a place where you've been in it so long that it no longer terrorizes you. And I've gotten back into that place where I was, you know, I was feeling more of a 9 of swords, a 10 of swords. And the meditation that I had today put me back in that place of the page and the queen, where it's like, oh, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Like, my point is to get across this idea that we are afraid of losing identity and And it's not just like, oh, this identity that we've had that people have made and built up around us. It's like, you don't know me. Well, they don't. Especially if you're in your head, you're going forward into a different place. You're like, you know, because it's not really like saying like, oh, other people are going to tell you you're not changing. It's not. It's that once you are in a different place, they can't say like, oh, we're going to take it back. You're like, no, I'm done. I'm over here now. Like, I exist over here. You might see me and be like, hey, what's up? But like, I'm over here. And once you're there, they can't take your soul position away from you. And that's where this sort of fear is coming from. The saying like, I've upgraded. This is the path that I'm on now. Like, no takesies backsies. So that's what I've learned today. And I feel like now that I know this, I'm not going to be in this position of being blocked. And what's more important is that, you know, the more I think about it, and if I actually do meditation more than once, like every year, then I'll get into that intuition and that flow, that like toroidal flow. Let me get my hands there. Toroidal flow will come back around. So I also got some cards. I got some decks that popped up in my head in my meditation, and I'm gonna pull a few cards. So, and I forgot to clear these already, so whoops. Okay, so let me just do this real quick. We're gonna pretend that worked even though I didn't say it out loud. Sniffly. This is the Cairo Marchetti Legacy deck. So I'm going to pull a few cards until I'm guided to stop. No, that was a fail shuffle. Let me try that again. I got a good sound out of that. You can tell whether it's cleared or not by the sound. Alright, this one fell out, so let's... Alright, just upside down. So, my lighting is so bad, I hate this webcam. I had to upgrade to one, and the round one I had before that wasn't Windows 10 compatible was so much better. Maybe if I hold it over here. Still not. Anyway, that's the Three of Cups, and it's inverted. I feel like what I'm getting with this card is this 3 to me has to do with just considering all the suits. Yeah, it has to do with dealing with other people, whether it be togetherness or division. So what I'm really getting for that one, what I'm really getting for this is a releasing of the need to keep up with everybody else. We're coming out of this keeping up with the circus. All right, what else do we want from it? Ooh, okay. Yep. So now we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. This card, I remember from, let's see it on, oh, there it is. Okay. It looks like Capricorn. Maybe it's not. Well, anyway, this card has to do with Jupiter, and I know that Jupiter is, I think it's in retrograde now. If not, it's going to be soon. So it could also have, it could, in terms do with timing. We also have this rainbow here. It's currently Pride still. We also have a spiral, which has to do with the phi ratio in a spiral has to do with the natural growth in the world. So what we're seeing here is divine timing. Has to do with, so not only with the divine timing of your life as you move outward in the spiral. Don't throw up on me. You're getting very intuitive. The spiral, I wish this was better on here. I hate this camera. Oh, there we go. Now we can see it. To put it at the right angle. Even though it's blurry, you can still see it now. So we have this timing, we have this sort of Jovian luck coming into play. And it's not just like, ooh, I got lucky. It's like you create it by creating a seed of where you want to go. Who are you? What do you want to do with your life? So you create this seed, and as it unfolds, it gives you this snowballing of luck. Your fortune increases because of what you started. And additionally, with the Two of Coins, or Two of Pentacles in reverse, we've been juggling something in the real world. What am I going to do? These or these? These or these? And we're making a decision. We're making the decision to stop trying to keep up with everybody else. So let's see what else we got from this deck. This is kind of exciting. I know the video quality isn't as good, but I feel like there's some... Ooh, that one hopped right onto the... And its buddy. Is this whole freaking thing in reverse? What the hell? Just gonna take a look. Nope. Most of them are going the other way. Okay. So we have the Two of Swords in reverse. Gotta keep remembering to look at the camera. So we have the Two of Swords in reverse. So this has Libra energy. So we're balancing. But again, because it's in reverse, we're not going to keep hopping from one foot to the other in this eternal balance of keeping up. Now here we have this sort of blindness, or this, our intuition isn't fully locked in, we're still in training. But in this position, we're no longer balancing without the full measure, the full power of the intuition. Where, again, we're making a choice. And we have 2 and 2 here. So you'll either, well, I can see where this would lead to a tower moment, and I wouldn't be surprised if that pops out. But what I'm getting here is a 4 foundation. So your foundation is based on making this choice. And this also has to do with truth. You're choosing your truth. And or communicating your choice. Then we also have the 7 of Wands. Come on, cooperate. So it's still blurry, but at least you can see the color. So we have the 7 of Wands inverted. So this would be standing your ground, being defensive, keeping watch over that which you've built. You know, I'm seeing like putting up an ADT system in your house as well. Keeping people from taking things that are yours. And again, that has to do with what I said before. Once you've made your choice, and your choice down there of who you are, people won't be able to take it away from you. It's sort of like, I don't know if you've ever done this. If you are in this sort of astral plane, like your mind's eye, you're daydreaming, that you want to put up an energy block around you. What you do is you imagine, okay, I'm putting up a wall, On the inside of the wall, I'm going to have these like walls of flowers so that it's got good energy towards me. But on the outside of the wall, there's going to be spikes. There's going to be a moat. I'm going to put a dragon at each corner. I'm going to put like just a ring of lightning around the top so I can't get attacked from the top. I'm going to have a dome. So you can set up this whole imaginary threat deterrent system in your head. And what you visualize is sort of the energy that you put around you. It's a block. And if you were to see that kind of energy in real life, people would call it magic. It's like, ooh, it's an illusion, or it's, it's, some Harry Potter business. So, and here we go. Here we have all these magic wands up here, all lit up, ready to attack. All right, let me see if there's anything else from this deck, because there's 3 other decks that I was told to use right now. It's going to be long, I guess. It's stuffy in here. I need some water. What's that pile of crap back there? Oh, sewing machine. Okay. Is there anything else from this deck? Oh, additionally, with this 7 and the 3, there's this completion number of 10. So you're really finishing out this period in your life of not being able to move completely through. You're done with everything else. It's completed. It's done. And then altogether, we've got the 14, which is balance. So you're going to achieve balance in what you're doing moving forward. And I know this is balance, and we're saying we're not balancing, but what we're doing is with all these cards inverted, your life has been imbalanced thus far with trying to keep up with it, what everyone else wants. So now you're moving into yourself, into your own power, and no one can take that away from you in the future. You're balanced, you're standing on both feet, you're resolute. So instead of being in this like one-dimensional stance of protection, what happens is once you get imbalanced, you have 2 7s. You've got a 7 for each leg, basically. And for me, a king is also a 14 as well as a 1. So once you're in balance, you rule your own area. You're the king of your personal domain. All right, I think that's... Let me just shuffle this one more time and see if there's anything else from this deck. No. Okay. Yeah, 5 of Wands in reverse on the bottom. So that's coming out of conflict, coming out of this spiritual immaturity of, being tied to other people in terms of what you want in your spirituality. So okay, so we'll do, I think that was, okay, so I didn't clear this one either. All right. I'm using the mini Rider-Waite deck. So teensy. Does it really matter if you don't do the tri-way cut? I have no idea. I don't think it really matters. Just do it anyway. The only reason I started doing it is because other people did it. All right, this card tried to flip out. So we have the Lovers. This is a 6. So we had 2 and 2 is 4, and then another 2 would give you 6. Now this could be literally the Lovers if your life goals have to do, oh, so itchy. If your life goals have to do with, try to make sure that's visible, kind of. If you're trying to if your life goal has to do with a romantic partner, this could definitely indicate that that's something that's going to be ruling out now that once you're grounded in your power. It also, Gemini, it's also the choice. So 2, 4, 6, the choice. Get this angel on that card with his head all super cyan flames with the sun behind him. So again, it has to do with opening up into your intuition and your crown chakra. So let me get some info. Come on, deck. Want anything else from this? Oh, the Knight of Cups. So again, that could be related to romantic, but here in the terms of life in general, what I'm feeling is this becoming more adept at using your intuition, at getting into your emotions and working through them and finding out how to make them work for you instead of against you. You know, and he's not galloping through her. Look at the horse just kind of moseying along. At the divine pace. Let's see what else we got here. So a knight for me can either be 12 or it can be 1. So we have 7 here. That would give you the chariot, that's movement. Or you could have the 6 and the 12 with the 18, so the moon. So because of the emotions here and the choice here with this, and then the moon card, you have the 2 pillars. So, and then here we have the sun. So it's like you're coming out of this dark moon hidden energy because you're using your intuition and making a choice. So let's get those. Any more from this deck? There's one. The dramatic backflip. See, the Queen of Cups. Exactly. Now you're going to be in that intuition. You're going to be ruling the domain of your intuition and emotions once you get moving. That's also a 13. It could be a 1 or a 13. And in terms of 13, it would be death and rebirth. It would be, you know, sweeping away the ashes of how you've been previously in your life and birthing something new. It's this sort of phoenix energy, this, you know, it's sort of an Ouroboros thing, or is it Ouroboros? Whatever. The snake eating itself. You're going the death and rebirth cycle. It's ecology. So it's one thing decays, another thing grows up in its place. Do you ever know those, like, some kind of invasive starfish? I don't know if it was in Japan or what. It's like a long time ago. They wanted to get rid of the starfish, so they chopped them all up and tossed them back in the ocean, and they ended up making the problem worse because maybe it was jellyfish. It was either jellyfish or starfish. I think it was a starfish, because when you chop them up, they have each piece has another, is like a new animal, and then it regenerates. So they ended up with like 5 times as many as they were trying to get rid of, because not only did they regenerate, but killing them off created in them this instinct to reproduce. Maybe it was a starfish, and then one of them was also jellyfish. I think it was both. But the main point is that death leads to regeneration and rebirth. Anything else from this deck? Ha 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 ha, justice. 11. So here we have, as a 1 and a 1, 11. And also 7 and 4, 11. So I see this as sort of a combination of the Queen and the angel from this sort of very red passion wands inspired kind of tone here. See, and now we have the scales and this sort of truth. So instead of being in this position of trying to be in balance while being blinded by what everyone else is doing, now we're in balance with our truth, and we have 11, justice. I think that's it. maybe. Let's see if there's anything else from this deck. Come on. Oh, alright, I guess this is it. It's just one more. Aha! So the Chariot in reverse and the Eight of Cups. So what I'm getting here is that you will not be moving forward until you've given up that which no longer serves you. And here we have the Moon here again to have to do with those, that dark night of the soul, fears and secrets. Anything else from this deck? One more. Two more. Okay, there it is. Aha! So we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. So here's you working in your life. You've been working and working. You're like, I've made all this crap. Why isn't anything happening? And now you're like, hey, this one that rolled down to my feet. That's me, that is. And you're sort of ready to go forward with who you are and getting rid of all this stuff that you've been growing that hasn't really worked for you. It's sort of harvest time. And now we're moving on to this sort of me spring. You know, it's like the revolution, but for yourself. I think that was it from that deck. Yeah, so the energy on the bottom is the Five of Pentacles. So we're not left out in the cold by society. We're creating our own world. Yeah, 6 and 7, that's 13, yeah. So here again, 13, that's that death and rebirth cycle. So let's get on to the next deck that I was directed to use, which I also didn't clear. There we go. Nope. Nope. There we go. Oh, so that sounded correct. Right. Thirsty again. It's like raining, but it's still kind of hot. Ugh. All right, so I am using the Uno deck. This is like circa 1987, I guess. I haven't seen any other decks like this one. I was trying to find out what year it was exactly, because I thought it was an original deck, but I guess the original Uno deck came out in like 79. They look like these. I really don't know why it won't let me do mirror. Or, I mean, not mirror. Whatever. Okay. Let's, ooh, I got a couple already. Alright. Interesting. Alright, so when I use the Uno deck, the draw fours are knights. And I need to get an additional card to get the suit. So we have a Knight of Swords in reverse with a background energy of the Nine of Swords in reverse. So so what I see with this is that you are coming out of your nightmares. And this, I'm going to try to say all the things at once. Okay, so for me, when the knight can either be a 1 or a 12. So when it's, especially if the knight is inverted, for me, that's the Hanged Man. So in terms of communicating that you've woken up, in terms of delivering your truth to people, you're in a position of being hung up on getting past your fears and nightmares of how do you articulate that into the 3D world. You're not really coming in hot with your new framework for your life. So this, well, it said I was offline for a second. I hope that worked. Is it still working? Is that what happens when it stalls out? I'm gonna have to check this later and see if it works. So anyway, I don't know if that caught the last bit. So in terms of, that was weird. In terms of what's happening here, you're hung up on the nightmares and fears, and you're not really coming in hot with your communication or your presentation in the 3D of what's going on in your head yet. Of you're not, or maybe you're coming slowly, because normally if the Knight of Swords is right side up, he's coming in quickly. So you're, especially with this Page of Pentacles energy here, I think you're not quite communicating it yet, but you're still moving forward, but slowly. Okay, I feel like that's better. So let me, that's so weird, it's better work. I'm gonna have to watch this back. Let's see what else is in the Uno deck here. Coming out in pairs. Three of Cups and Ace of Pentacles. Look at that, 13. So again, we have that death and rebirth. Now we have this springtime, new beginning, abundance, health coming in, emotional health, mental health, healthier relationships and working with other people. This isn't really working though. This is sort of networking, schmoozing, like emotionally working with people of, which would, partying, but it can be, I would say, social interaction. Got anything else from the Uno deck? I love using the Uno deck. It makes me feel special. Oh, there we go. We'll flip out. What do we got here? 98. That's almost 100. So we have the Nine of Cups, and then we have the Eight of Swords. So the only thing blocking you from getting your emotional fulfillment wish is getting out of your own prison. You got some toilet paper on your eyes, and you've got this gate that you've set up around yourself that has all these holes in it that you could easily slip through. And what I got here, 3 times 9, exponential, like that. We're snowballing it up. So we're going from this networking to this beauty of and sort of fulfillment. But you gotta get over that. Gotta get over yourself too. And that's. I can sort of feel it coming too. It's like I feel like ass today. I hate myself. I remember being like this for like 5 years straight. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I don't want to feel like this. And that's exactly that Eight of Swords energy of that you are, so that you feel like you hate yourself and you don't understand anything and why isn't it working? But you also know that it's a trap and you want to get out. That's kind of how I feel the Eight of Swords. And it's sort of like you're lying to yourself. It's this sort of abuse that isn't particularly true, but you keep repeating it to yourself, even though it's not helping. 2 of Swords. So this is good because this is a reduction. Cube root. We're getting to the root of the issue. Intuition. Trust your intuition. Seven of Swords. So this is sort of this ninja, sneaky, hiding behind a corner energy. And usually they have 5 swords together and 2 swords off to the side. So we're taking this intuition. We're not sneaking around it anymore. We're not ignoring it. We're not taking on these 5 swords of mind games. We're saying, hey, hey. So there's still that element of 2 in what it's overcoming. Let's see if we got anything else from the Uno deck. Ace of Cups. Perfect. I think that's it for that deck. It's on the bottom. 7 of Pentacles. Patience. Divine timing. Working it out. Alright, so yes, okay. So the other deck that I was compelled to use is the Work Your Light Oracle deck. Gonna go AWOL without the book today. So let's get this cleared. Feel really good about this reading. Non-structured. I don't even have a spread. I just left everything in a pile. That's the spread for today. And yes, I know my fingernails look like ass. Deal with it. Deal with it, man. I'm living my life. Do you want your fingernails fancy? You freaking paint them. It's the truth. Also because I don't believe in using a lot of acetone on my hands. Ah! Oh yeah, because I wanted 5 of them in the trash can. Thank God it was a dry section. Oh, failure. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to take that one. I'm working my way up to this thing. First I do live, and then I add the super chat. No, first I do the live, and then I add the comments, and then I add the super chat. It's going to be a ramping up of services. Okay, I think that's, I'll do the try thing here. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Ha! Trust your path. Let me get that. Hang on, let me try to get it. Kinda. That's probably about as good as it's gonna get. These cards are really light. Trust your path. Okay. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So here we have all of this pathway here, this sort of sandy, shifty stuff that you have to walk through. Here you are way over here. This is the gateway. There's sort of like the 2 pillars that you would find on the moon card. And you're getting towards this gateway of, again, of the death and the rebirth. You're going through this gate to your new world, like a stargate of your beingness, of your personality, of your soul. You're leveling up. It's like you know, in Mario, where he jumps and he gets the flag and then he goes into a castle to get to the next level. Well, this is the castle. Or in like in Sonic and Knuckles, when they go to the special zone and it's this giant ring that he has to leap through. That's that. Oh, and here, like, you can't see it on here, but there's these little like energy, or like, you know, skid kind of lines coming down from the sky into this head. So it's this sort of divine light coming down into the head to lead you. So trust your path. That's what this entire thing is all about. So let's get another one. Okay. I don't know how many more I'm supposed to get, but I said let's get another one, so we're gonna get another one. Another one. Uno más. Yeah. Oh, this one's pulling out. Ha 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 ha. Birthing a new age. So sort of that dome of protection with your walls around you to keep out the crap. Sort of a summoning circle. It says birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So that's the next step after trusting your path, is that you're coming into your own. You're creating an entire new world by trusting who you are. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay. Feel that one. So let's... Ow. Oh, here we go. The initiation. I know I said that weird. Initiation. There. I feel like Jeff Foxworthy trying to say that word. You didn't bring your truck with you, did you? Okay. Yeah. The initiation. I don't know why I can't talk today. Rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So again, this is that same idea of going through a gateway. Here you are in this sort of dark night of the soul energy. You've got this sort of lightning like the tower would bring, and you get through this pathway of this sort of moon shadow world. And once you get through the gateway, you're out on this beach. Anything else? Any more messages from the Work Your Light Oracle? Wow, okay. Chatty today. So this is yes. Just say yes. So if you've been feeling like you're not sure if you should try to move forward, the answer is indeed yes. So we sort of have this. I feel like this threefold goddess thing is important in some way. The sort of like you're looking to the left, you're looking to the right, and now you're looking up. It's sort of like you've been in the light and you've been in the shadow, and now your intuition is rising. But it's this sort of because it's like pyramidal flow towards higher consciousness in some way. Not super held up on the symbolism there, but we definitely have this. As a pyramid is like fire, so it would be this passion, intuition, and again leading up to your higher self. So we have yes, do it. So this other one that came out is deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. And again, we have the moon. Now this card came out upside down, and the Work Your Light Oracle doesn't really do inversions, but I think I feel like because it came out, it means, it doesn't really mean rest, it means sort of gather yourself. You know, take the self-care that you need to be gently in your emotions instead of violently in your emotions. So, and as you're sort of turning away from this moon energy, just sort of give yourself a minute to just collect yourself and smell the roses. Is there anything else? Holy crap, okay. This is the most cards I've ever gotten out of this deck. Okay, so here we have Imrama. This sort of castle on the beach. Oh, and here's you down in the water. So it says, what are you being called to journey to do? So it's going back to this sort of, you know, now that you're in this higher realm here, where are you going? You've gotten through the gateway. What's the rest of it going to be? And it's like you don't really have to know right now, but you just need to make sure that you stay in this knowingness of who are you? Like, what are you doing? Don't let anyone know. Like, now that you're through this gateway, you've gone through a threshold where people can't reach through and grab you. So you have an opportunity to go where you want now. Anything else here? I don't want to overload the messages here. Let me see what else. Didn't see what's going on here. Oh. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution expression. So here you are on the edge. You've just come through here. Come through this darkness, and now you're on the just coming through on the beach, and you see this pyramid again, this sort of pyrotechnic device. It's again, it's emotional. It's well, it's not emotional. It's intuition. It's expression. It's desire. It's what's another word? Inspiration, intuition, muse. Your passion, your soul purpose kind of stuff. I wish this camera didn't suck balls in the not fun way. Just gonna have to pretend that anybody can freaking see that. Okay. So in here, in this card, here's you, whether you're male or female, it's just a person. I mean, it's a girl in the picture, but just imagine it as a person. And now you're, instead of being all in dark robes, you're wearing this sort of starry cloth of higher intuition and learning and possibility. And you're sort of looking out. I'm getting Aretha Franklin, looking out on the morning rain, or is it the morning sun? Anyway, natural woman. So you're looking out. Used to feel so uninspired. So just, you know, if you're a masculine, just think of it as being in this feminine energy of intuition. So you feel natural. You feel like yourself, your creative self. I'll have to try to remember to put that in the description box. I need a piece of paper. And again, it's also not necessarily the words of the song, it's the energy of the song. You know, with this sort of crescendo, this sort of emotive and like sort of blues situation. Now, another thing, I guess I'm done reading. So another thing that has to do with the dark night of the soul is expressing yourself in some way. Now, let's see if I can fold this back up the right way. One thing that you can do is you can take a sheet of computer paper, and I had to use a tutorial online. So what you do is you can fold it up into a little chapbook, and mine is typed because I made a template and imported poems that I had put on DeviantArt a long time ago when I was going through it. So what you can do is look up chapbook, that's C-H-A-P, and then the word book. Google how to fold one, because it's a sheet of paper. It's folded into 8 sections, just 8.5 by 11. It's going to have a cut partway in the middle, and then it gets folded up. And I'm going to have to relearn how to do it because I have to make some more. So what you do is you just take each thing. You can write, you can draw on them, little doodles or whatever. You can write anything you want. Oh, there's one that I wanted. It's not in this one. Hang on a second. Ow. There's a certain one that I wanted. I gotta find out which one. I got 8. I got 9 different ones of these. I gotta figure out which one it's in. That I wanted to read specifically for this. It's like 2 lines. It's gonna take me an hour to find it. Wait a second. Of course, it's gonna be the last one. Just piece of little. Maybe it's this one. I think it's this one. Like, for example, if you're writing these by hand, it doesn't have to be long. This one's only 2 lines, which would also fit if you're handwriting it, because this is like 0.8 size type font. So it's called could. You could have been special, but you laid waste to your own garden. Okay. And then another, I'll read another short one. So another short one that I have, and these are all related to Dark Night of the Soul. And all of the chapbooks that I made, I think almost all of these are in my book Lantern. And you can find a link to that on the infomercial video for this. And I have to add a link to the thingy in the bottom. So another one I have is Flawless. I refuse to clothe myself in a mantle of infallibility. Fill my cracks with gold, highlight my faults. So those are just examples of what you could do. You could make a chapbook, you can write in it, and then if you want to express yourself, to share your voice, you can give them out to people. And I've got 9 different ones. I've got a whole bunch of them printed out. I've got, let me grab some other stuff. So what I'm planning on doing is offering a chapbook, and then I have my business cards. You see it's in a, like one of the acetate or poly card holder. So I've got these old drawings that are tiny, and I've attached them to a business card back. So I'm kind of planning on offering these. So if anyone wants like a Dark Night of the Soul situation with some random art that may or may not be relevant to you, it's sort of like you don't know what you're gonna get. Maybe the thing to do would be like looking at a tarot card. And then I have cut out again. I really hope this works. So I have these other business cards that I printed on cardstock that just have, they're like newer. This one has the picture of Lantern book on it. This one has a picture of one of the coloring books on it. And it's just, you know, I'm not really sure how I want to offer that yet or whatever. But the main idea is that you'd get like a little packet of stuff, and you'd have like a chapbook that you can, it'll have, you know, a few poems or little prose little things in them that have to do with that sort of dark shadow work element. Or you could just buy the Lantern book and you'd get all of it. But these are cute because they got little different pictures on them. So that one is a printout of an artist trading card I made that would be this size, of a cat we used to have called Elvis. This one's a picture of a giant chalk drawing that I did. And this one was another ATC that I did. I did a series of ancient gods. That was Lilith. So just, you know, and I don't really want to advertise on here because that's what the infomercial video is for. But my main idea is that you can make a chapbook for yourself. You can get your paste paper, you can get it folded up, and then you can, you know, have your little book of writings or drawings or anything that you want, and it'll help you express yourself to get you through this gateway. I'm going to be trying to do some other I'm going to try to come up with some other ways for people to do that. I mean, another important thing, you can do writing, you can do dance, you can do activity. Like if you need to go play paintball to get you through your Dark Night of the Soul, like do that. You know, go use a punching bag. Any way that you can express yourself. Go, you know, go to a record store and get like a stack of vinyls, put them on your record player, or take your iPod out for a stroll, or however you want to do it. You know, get some jams up on your phone. You know, that's how the kids are saying it these days. You know, art therapy is really good. If you want to draw, but you feel like you can't, like you're not good enough, don't let that stop you. If you want to practice before making your own, you can get coloring books. I have 2 that are available. You can check those out. Or you can go buy any old ones that you find. I don't know if I'm going to be able to offer out singly printed out ones. What I might do is make like a coloring book chapbook, or make some new ones that have like a little page in it that you can color. But I know that I've made some greeting cards that can be colored in, so I might try to offer those too. Again, that's stuff that I should put in the infomercial video, but this is just sort of, right now I'm trying to help people brainstorm what they could do. Another thing that's really good is you can get a Lego set. I got the Yellow Submarine Lego set, and I found it very cathartic and meditative to put it together. You can get like a Puzz 3D or play Jenga or anything that gets you in this sort of out of your own head state. You know, any kind of puzzle or delicate activity like that. You know, it could just you could go to some photography or any sort of creative, meditative, movement-based thing that you can do will help you get into that intuitive sector that will help you start working through that dark. Fuck this intro. The cactus. Okay, so I was saying anything that you can do that can get you into this sort of creative position in your brain where your intuition will be stronger. You know, it's sort of third eye chakra kind of stuff. And again, another thing that you can do is you can go onto YouTube at large. You can look up solfeggio frequencies. You can, waiting for this vehicle to go by. You can look up guided meditation on YouTube. You can look up solfeggio frequencies. I don't want to misspell that right now, so I'm not going to say it out loud, but if you look up 432 hertz, 432 Hz, that'll get you started. And there's just tones, or there's musical things that go for like 8 or 9 hours if you really want to. There's guided meditations. Those are all things that can help you get over this sort of feeling of being cock-blocked by life itself, even though it's really stemming from this internal fear of having achievements taken away from you if you get to them. So I think I'm going to leave this at that. I'm still going to be trying to go through each of my reading things that I've done. I think I might want to redo my infomercial video, and I'm also still working on redoing all my business card backs, so I'm not sure what I'm going to have up soon, but I feel really good about this reading. I think it's important. I think people need to hear that they can get through this darkness and being blocked. I think just acknowledging that it exists, that you're afraid to be yourself, is important. Like, oh my God, what if, like, it's sort of like, be careful what you wish for because you might get it, but it's like you're trying to be yourself, but you're afraid of having yourself taken away from you. And it's sort of I'm writing another song now. It's sort of this, you know, logical fallacy, but we feel it because we've been programmed to have this scarcity mindset. So I think I feel like going forward that once you're aware of it, it doesn't have as much control over you. So like, comment, subscribe if you can. And then if you want any of the merchandise, like the coloring books or whatever, or lantern, go ahead and check out the link in the infomercial video. I'll put the link to the infomercial video down below, and then you can look at the description box down there for that. Let me know what you think about the chapbook packets. If you read this, I really need some feedback because I'm not really sure how to go about that. And yet, if other people have ideas, I was thinking like $5 or $10 for a packet or something like that, or maybe like a like a couple of them together, and like maybe a single tarot reading or something like that. I feel like I want people to be able to have like a little pack of stuff and be like, oh, look at somebody who read my tarot gave this to me, and I feel like it's helping. But I don't want to just like be like, here, buy my crap and throw it out at people. I want it to be meaningful in some way. So if you are seeing this, please comment below and let me know what you think I should do with these, because I have a ton of them. And then if you feel like you want to change your energy in some way in the 3D world by having products that have sort of psychedelic, geometric, higher frequency reaching designs on them. I have cafe press as well. You could get t-shirts, like mugs, jewelry, anything like that. I have some of my own stuff, and I found that even though cafe press tends to be expensive because of the one-off printing, that the materials are actually fairly quality, and I've enjoyed what I've gotten so far. So you can, if you want to wear the sort of vibrant psychedelic stuff to help you focus in on those frequencies, or just feel cool because you got something rainbow on, go ahead. That's available. And then the coloring books and the lantern book of shadow writings. And then obviously I have a bunch of tarot readings available. Just those are all things that are you can have access to right now. So everybody have a good day. I hope this helped you. Don't be afraid of your shadow work. Just, if you know it's affecting you, then I think you're ready to go through it. So best of luck to everybody. Much love. Bye.